If you're a renter living in Savannah, Georgia, did you know that you live in one of the most flood-prone areas and that your renter's insurance may not cover that flood damage that you have? Stay tuned in this video so we can show you how to protect these belongings so you don't lose it like so many people did during Tropical Storm Debbie. Let's get started. But before we do, make sure to share, subscribe, like the channel so others can find this invaluable content. Hi, I'm Chris, the flood insurance guru. More than 12 years ago, I bought a house in a flood zone just like this right here. Was told my premiums were going to be $3,000, when they really should have been $300. So today, we're talking about actual renter's insurance and flood insurance. You know, it's a question we get every day and there's just not a lot of solutions. But what most people don't know is that renter's insurance does not cover flood damage. This means if you have renter's insurance and your belongings like this right here, inside here, are hurt or destroyed or damaged, more than likely they're not covered. There's really only one way to cover this, and that is to get a renter's insurance policy that covers just flood. Typically, this is going to cover contents coverage. It's going to be different than your landlord's policy that's covering the actual building. And if it's a National Flood Insurance Program policy, and more than likely it is, it's not going to give you replacement costs on your contents. This is important to remember. So if you have a TV destroyed that's 10 years old, you're going to get what it would cost to replace that TV 10 years ago. So just remember that. But when it comes to private companies, options are typically very limited. There's just not a lot of companies out there that offer this coverage on contents. So what's the average cost of flood insurance for renters in Savannah, Georgia? So when looking at how much coverage you need, what you want to look at, hey, what is the actual replacement cost of my home? You know, what's my loan for? You want to be cautious of just taking out a policy for a loan amount, because then it could default to an actual cash value. And come claims time, you could be really disappointed here. We had this happen with a property owner in Texas who had decided to take out an actual cash value policy with someone else without realizing it. She was getting $15,000 claim checks instead of closer to $75,000. So you want to make sure that you insure your property for at least 80% of the replacement cost or the max coverage amount available with the National Flood Insurance Program so that you could get that replacement cost. Well, what we see is usually in that $500 to $700 range. And this can give you up to $100,000 in contents coverage on your apartment, on your house, whatever it is you're renting. So if you want to learn more about that, you can click in the description of this video. You also want to know what your flood risk score is. It's the actual risk of your property flooding. You can also get a description of that right here in this video. If you're ready to take those next steps, do that. Also, download our guide to flood insurance so you understand your flood risk, your flood options, what flood zones you're in. And if you're looking at renting an apartment or house in Savannah, make sure to ask your landlord what flood zone you're in and what your flood risk score is. I'm Chris, the Flood Insurance Guru, and I'm gonna say thank you for watching today's video on flood insurance for renters in Savannah, Georgia. And I look forward to speaking to you in our next video. But also, make sure to click on the corner of this video to watch our playlist on flood insurance for Savannah, Georgia residents. Thank you.